Well, no. Great. Wonderful. Okay. Hey, everyone. Hope you're doing well today. We are going to be switching things up a bit today. Today is going to be a feedback session. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the stuff that you guys have been building. You're going to share them with us. We'll take a look at them, and we will just give feedback as needed on everything that you guys have done. Before this, for everyone watching as well, I want you guys to know that I'm gonna give you guys a general idea on what's happening across the next couple of weeks for the Gaming Academy, along with whatever I expect from you guys. Hopefully, it's gonna be pretty chill. It's gonna be pretty simple, and you guys are going to enjoy it quite a lot. First of all, some of you guys have told me that you're very interested in working alone, and that's totally fine. Don't worry about it too much. It's something that you can definitely do, and we are very much okay with it. If you prefer to work with other people, that's also totally fine. So far, I can see that almost half of you guys want to work alone. Some of you need help finding a team, and some of you guys already have a team, which is really, really good. So for those of you that are looking for a team, definitely post whatever it is you do inside the team formation section on Discord. But I will also reach out to you guys and see what it is that we can help you with. All right. So a lot of you have a lot of experience as well in development and design and in art, which is super, super good. And if you are looking for someone that has different skills as well, please feel free to fill the team form and tell us what it is that you guys need the most. Okay. For those of you that are willing to work alone as well, I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully there is a way for me to do this. Okay, and what I'm going to share are a bunch of different tabs that you guys should be able to see. Let me know when you guys can see this tab. Can you guys see it? Yes? Okay, if I switch to Kenny, can you guys see it? Just say yes or no in chat so I know if I can just keep going because I won't be able to see the chat afterwards. Okay. Great. Okay, wonderful. So Kenny is one of my favorite asset designers, basically. He makes a lot of free things for anyone to use. And he's got a ton of different types of assets, as you can see over here. So he's even got starter kits that you can just start with. That's what a starter kit is. And then from there, you're able to create whatever it is you're interested in making. So he also has a few games that I think he's created them himself. So you can check these out as well. And he's done most of these, or all of these actually, with his own assets. So when you go into the assets folder, you can see the different kinds of assets that he has. So if you're interested, for example, in making a 2D platformer game, you can go into the new platformer pack and just grab everything from there. Okay, and this is, for example, what one level might look like. This is an example of another level. So, and as you can see over here, this content is free to use in personal, educational, and commercial projects. Written permission is not required, but you can support us by crediting or donating, and that's voluntary. So it's super up to you to decide what you want to do or how you want to use the bundles. And since they're under the Creative Commons license, you're able to use them however you like. All right. He also has a bunch of different 3D assets as well. So for example, this is an industrial city kit part. So if you want to build an industrial city or something of the sort, especially when it's a top-down view, you can check out his assets from over here. All right. You know, his assets are really, really fun. He's got like another pack, for example. This is a water pack for fish. So if you want to make a game with fish involved, you can check this out. And he also has something that's a bit more detailed, such as this retro medieval pack. Here are some stairs, for example. Here are some different walls, etc., that you can use to build something like this house. Okay. So Kenny is definitely an asset that you guys can depend on. And obviously, there are also, he doesn't just have 2D and 3D and UI assets, so it's not just art assets. He also has a few audio assets that you guys can benefit from as well. So these are some of the sounds that he has, and I highly recommend you check them out in case you're interested in getting some free assets so that you can use in your game. Another place to get free assets for sound is freesound.org. So basically, you can look up different sounds, and then from here, you can decide what it is you need for your game. So these are like some of the stuff that I'm probably looked up before for one reason or another. Sometimes it's very weird. Like, I don't know why Carabiner is here, but whatever. So like, let's say we can go for like door banging. And then you can basically just hear a door being hit. Large banging steel door with wind rain. So this is a 3-minute thing, so it might be a bit much for whatever you're looking for. And I'm gonna assume, yep. So you guys can hear the steel door being hit over here. Okay. Here's another one. This is, for example, 21 seconds. This is a parking garage with a metal door. So we're gonna hear a part of it. So you can, for example, cut this part out if you're trying to make a horror game and just have someone banging on the door this way whenever you're looking for this kind of asset. Okay. And as you can see, there are a ton of different tags that you can also use to benefit from. I've used this before, for example, to get bubble sounds, to get water droplet sounds. I've used this before to get jumping noises as well. It's just that you have to use your creativity a bit to find out what kind of sounds make the things that you want to make. So, for example, if you want to hear the sound of bones breaking, a lot of people usually use leeks, like the green sticks, and then they crack them, and then they just use these sounds instead. But going back to assets, to art assets, there is a website called opengameart.org that you can use as well for both music and for different 2D art generally. Okay, so this is also another pretty good asset that you can benefit from. The final one I want to talk about is itch.io. So itch is basically where we're going to be presenting our games as well. We will be uploading everything over there when you guys are done creating your game. And as you can see over here, there are a few assets, there are quite a lot of assets actually that you can use and benefit from. So for example, the top free game assets, there's 39,702 results. It's a lot. So you can definitely benefit from these, especially by clicking the right tags. And there are quite a lot of tags. So if we check out the tags over here, you've got tabletop games, you've got tiles, you've got characters, you've got tile maps again, comics if you want to make that, Dungeons and Dragons. If you guys need UI as well, there are a few people with graphical user interfaces that are helping you out. Blender if you're going for something that's 3D, fonts as well, etc., etc. So going through these assets should definitely be helpful for you guys, especially when you want to make your own games and you are missing, for example, an artist or a musician. Having said this, it's also super good if you check out the artists that we have in the community and ask them for help, or try to find someone in the community as well that would be interested in working on the project with you. Okay? Does this make sense for assets? Are we good to go? Awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna just check the chat real quick to see if there are any questions. So Roa says that she couldn't attend the previous lectures. You can just check them out on YouTube. Generally, whatever it is you're most interested in, you can watch these sessions. So if you're interested in game design, for example, you can check out the game design session. If you're interested in the programming for Godot session, you can do this. Having said this, if any of you are interested in Unity as well, you can check out all our tutorials on our channel, on our YouTube channel. Okay, because we have everything uploaded over there. And if you're ever interested in making a 2D platformer in Unity, for example, we already have the tutorial on how to do this completely from start to finish on our channel. So I highly, highly recommend that you check it out over there. Okay. Leonardo also said this, so yes, thank you so much. Awesome. Great. Yes, Keymonade is also suggesting that there's Mixamo for 3D animations. So if you guys are interested in also animating different products and stuff, you can check out Mixamo and you can get it from there. Working on your games so far, and how many of you have not started yet? So I'll just wait for you guys to just type a bit. But for those of you that have started working on your games, well done. That's really, really good to hear. For those of you who are not sure where to start, as I just mentioned, you can check out our tutorials and you can see what it is you need to do. Generally, from now until the end of the program, what you're going to be looking for is to, 1, set up your team, which I think you should have done by now. 2, pick a game concept. 3, start working on it. Obviously, it's much easier said than done, but generally what you're going to be looking at are your core mechanics, which are the basic things that your character is going to be doing that we talked about in the game design channel before. You're going to go in, you're going to create the basic mechanics for your characters. And then from there, you are going to be expanding on your game and you're going to be making your character move, jump, etc., etc. You're also going to decide on an art style. Once you decide on the art style, you can have the artist try it out and see what it is that works best. After the artist has decided on that and the team entirely agrees on it, you start to move forward and create something else really, really exciting for the game that you have. Okay? Ahmed also just added that CG Trader has a lot of 3D assets that you can use, and some of them are free. Yes, absolutely. CG Trader is another really, really good asset to use. Leonardo's asking, when's the game jam going to start? So the game jam will start by the end of the week. We're going to open it up for all of you. We do not have a specific theme, but we will have recommendations for what you guys can do, just to make it easier for you guys to have a line to follow. However, you are not restricted to whatever we tell you need to do. This is just a recommendation to help you get to the end of the couple of weeks where you're going to be making games. So in terms of restriction, the most important thing is that whatever assets you use, we want you guys to give credit to them. We want to make sure that you guys give credit to the people that work with you. Whoever it is that helps you out in one way or another, please just make sure that you add them there. Okay. The theme, as I mentioned, is not going to be enforced. We are just going to recommend a few ideas for you guys so you can actually make the things that you want to make. Okay. And in terms of the timeline, it's going to be from end of this week until the end of August. All right, after the end of August, we're going to take 2 weeks or so to just prepare the games to make sure that they're playable, to make sure that they hit everything that we need in terms of the checklists that we've required from you, which is basically make a game that runs. And then after that, it's just going to be out and about for you guys to just have fun. Okay, and we will then give you the certificates for the work that you guys have done. So Ali is asking, what exactly is the game jam? So a game jam is like something that is anywhere from 24, 48 hours to a couple of weeks long, where you and a bunch of people end up making a game. And the game is usually very small. It's usually very scrappy. You just put a bunch of things together and try to get it to work. The game usually very much comes out as a concept rather than an actual full, very polished game, because we are not planning on helping you guys polish and complete a full game, because that takes years, quite literally years. So in the next couple of weeks, let's say it's going to be around 5 weeks ish. What you guys are going to be doing is just making something that works, and you're going to be doing it with a team or alone. So as I mentioned, we have a few people that have actually decided to work alone. So from the people that have filled up the document, we have around 5 people that have said that they want to work alone, and that is totally fine. And this is why I was recommending the stuff that we mentioned before. So yeah, Ali, basically you're going to jump in, you're going to make a game with friends or alone, and the game basically just needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It can be any genre you want. It can be anything that you've made previously but expanded upon. Basically, as long as you make something during the next couple of weeks that actually works and doesn't break my computer, you should be fine. Will I check out your games? Yes, Noor. So basically, we are going to have a few sessions like this one where I'm just going to be chatting with you guys. So today is supposed to be a feedback session. So generally, if you have any questions or comments, or if you have a game concept that you'd like to talk to me about, we can discuss it right now and we can talk about it. If later on, like in the next 2 weeks or so, I think we're going to have another session like this one. You start working on your game, you can then present it, and then we can talk about it and see how we can improve upon it. Okay? Ahmad said, actually, wait, let me see if I missed anything. So Leo said he always struggles with pushing himself to be productive. So yes, basically the point of the game jam is to give you guys an end point to actually finish whatever it is you're trying to build. Okay, and I remember the first time I joined the game jam, it was really bad because I ruined my game completely. I actually cut my project and pasted it on top of my friend's project because I thought it would merge the files, but all it did is destroy both our files, and we weren't able to get anything out. So the next couple of game jams, I just worked on actually finishing the tiniest concept of whatever I needed my game to be. So if I needed my character to run around, kill enemies, gather coins, and finish a level, all I did is I got my character moving from point A to point B, no jumps, no nothing, just walking through. And then when it got to the end, that was counted as a win for the level. And then slowly, as my skills in game development got better, I started adding more and more things. So I don't know if Kimonade is still here, but the last game that I worked with him on, it was basically just us two. We worked on a game about it was a 2D platformer about mushrooms. So all we did was, oh, he is here. Hi, how are you? It's good to see you. So basically, we worked on a game about mushrooms where we had, I think, 3 or 4 different mechanics. So our character could move, could jump, could root into the ground, could face plant into a wall, and could die. But also when they rooted into the ground, they became like a bouncy platform and stuff. So, we just made a lot of stuff, and this was in 48 hours. And we made, I think, like 5 or 6 levels. Kimo, I think, basically he made most of the levels, if not all of them. I can't remember. And yeah, we also created like a button that you can click on so that you can open different parts of the level. So basically, we created like a very tiny concept, but we were able to expand on it because we had the time and the skill to do so. So yes, basically try to make something and try to finish it, no matter what you consider your endpoint to be. As long as you can get to an end, that's what matters most. So I hope this answers your question, Leo. And Noor, yes, we will check out your games for sure. Ahmed says, wait, can I technically work on something that I have been working on rather than a new project? Ahmed, as long as you expand on it, then that's a yes. Okay. You'll also need to submit it to the game jam. So if this is a private or secret project, then I recommend that you don't do that. But if it is something that you're willing to share and you already have it up on itch and stuff, and you just update it throughout the timeline of the Gaming Academy, then yes, that's totally fine. Rabia said he started on an idea, on the game, sorry, but the idea is not fully finished, but he will continue it to finish it to the end. Right now, you just have a playable visual level. That's totally fine. And that's really, really good. Like you have a start, and from here, you just have to continue. Find out what you want your finishing point to be from now until the end of the 5 or 6 weeks. And once you get that, then you should be good to go for whatever you want to build. Okay. Just make sure that you have like a small cut of the full game that you want to finish before then. All right. So Maitha, I think I read your name right. Maitha said they're making a pixel cafe simulator with an artist and made the character controller and one state for the NPC AI so far. That's really, really good. But I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish it, I'm guessing, or if I should make something simpler. What's my opinion? Also, if anyone is a Unity programmer and wants to help, let me know. If you want, also drop your Discord, your like name in Discord in the chat, so that if anyone in the chat is willing to help, that would be cool. If not, you can also ask on Discord itself and see if anyone's interested in joining and helping. So making the character controller is great. Making one NPC AI is great. We'll need to talk about how big the scope of the game is and what it is you're trying to do. So for now, if you want to just tick off what we need from you in terms of the Gaming Academy, we need to be able to see the cafe, to move around in the cafe, to make at least one drink, and to sell it to one NPC. Okay, if you can get me to do all of these steps and have the NPC leave the cafe, then this counts as a complete game concept. Okay, and this scores you the point that you need. Later on, after you're done with this, you can start expanding on the game. So you can start adding different NPCs, different options of things that I can buy at the cafe, different I don't know, different drinks, different foods, different types of customers, and each of them has a specific thing. And then you can basically just expand on that. But this is a good concept, to be honest. This is great. Yeah, please go ahead and make it. And if you want to talk about it more, you can let me know. You can raise your hand and you can just use your microphone if you want to speak, basically. So Keegan's asking, will there be sessions at the beginning of August from 1 to 10? Yes, potentially there will be sessions. We just have to confirm with a few more speakers to make sure that they can make it then. But if not, honestly, you can use this time as time to just work on your games. Okay? So Ahmed's asking, Ahmed's saying actually, cut the project and place it on my friend's project. Yes, absolutely. It really, really hurt. Awesome. Some people know Mushroot. Okay, that's great. You mentioned before that we have no game ideas. You can suggest some for us, right? So yes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna suggest a few concepts for you guys to build on. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take this into consideration or that you cannot expand on them. So for example, I'm gonna tell you, make me a game about, I don't know, a fish that's trying to walk on water, on land, sorry. So you can just take this concept and just expand on it however you like. So you can say, for example, oh, okay, so I'm going to put puddles for the fish to flop into every time. Or you can say, I'm going to give this fish legs and make it run around on like a skateboard or something. I don't know. And then depending on what you want to do, you're going to have different concepts with a fish walking on land. Another example I can give you is I can say, I want you to make me a game about, I don't know, the world flipped upside down. So you can decide what upside down means. Is it like the world is now like literally upside down? Like if you walk outside, you just fly up and then you never fall because gravity doesn't exist? Or is it more like upside down as in the poor are now rich and the rich are now poor? Or is it like coffee makes you sleepy and left is right and etc. etc. So it's up to you to decide how you want to interpret what I'm suggesting for you. Okay? Awesome. So when's the deadline for the finished game? Noor is asking. So the deadline is the end of August. Okay? So you have like 6 weeks, 5 weeks. I'm not sure, Sabaha. I can't count well. But yeah, you have like 5 to 6 weeks to finish. Generally, one thing you guys need to know is if you finish a game in 2 days, that's also counted as a game. Okay? So if any of you joined the game Zanga that just finished yesterday, congratulations, and you can submit that game as part of the thing for the gaming academy. That's totally fine. Okay? If you haven't, I highly suggest that you check out the games there because they are pretty cool and the jam was pretty fun. All right. Limiting the So Ahmed is also saying limiting a project to a certain scope is absolutely a challenge in itself. Yes, 100%. So generally, the way I think about it whenever I'm starting a new project is I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let my mind go as far as I want and just make the biggest thing I want. So I have this big project. Okay, it's like this big. And then slowly I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna start cutting up parts of it, and then I start cutting it up, cutting it up until I have like a very tiny piece. And then this tiny piece, I also divide it by half and then do half of that. And if it's still a coherent game, then that counts as a good concept in itself. For example, at one point I was working on a game about which game should I tell you guys about? Let's talk about the Brackeys game jam. So there was a Let There Be Chaos jam where we just wanted there to be chaos, basically. So what we did is we created a character called Anath, and Anath did not have one gun. Anath had 9 guns, and you could shoot with, well, 3, 6, 8 guns, sorry. And you could shoot with any of them, depending on where you put them. And depending on where you put them, you had recoil that shot you in a certain direction. So what we started doing when we wanted to make this game is we decided to make one position with one gun and one fraction of recoil, let's say. Okay. And once we got this working, we decided we can just extrapolate this data and make 9 guns. But we literally started with one just to see what it was like and whether it works. Okay. At the same time, we decided to work on an enemy that attacks you, and it attacks you by walking towards you. So we just created a very basic script that had one enemy chasing you. Once we had this ready, we were able to build on the types of enemies we had so that each of them attacked you in a different way. Okay? So generally, find out what the basic component of your game is and build upon that. If you're making a shooting game, make one gun that shoots one bullet. If you're making a platforming game, make one platform with one character that can jump. If you are making a racing game, make one car or whatever it is that's racing and one straight road and just have the car move on that road. And then add a bend and then another bend and then etc. etc. If you are making I don't know what kind of games you guys would like to make. If you're making a horror game, for example, make one monster, make the room dark enough where I can see enough, but also not enough, and then make the monster randomly jump up if you're making like a jump scare kind of game. If you're making a game like Skyrim, stop. Don't make Skyrim. Please don't make Skyrim. If you're making I don't know, a 3D platformer puzzle, okay? Make one puzzle. Find out what are the mechanics that you want the puzzle to work with, simplify them as much as possible, and then just make that, okay? So Omar is asking, does the Academy have developers that we can ask questions in case we're stuck? Yes, absolutely. So you can just, so we have different channels for Unreal, Godot, and Unity. You can just ask there. You can also see who has the mentor tag, and you can just tag them if you want to do so. Generally, if you have Unity questions, you can ask me. If you have Godot questions, you can ask either Chemonade or let's see who else we have in the channel. I think Matasim is also there, so you can ask him as well. If you want Unreal, I think Joseph Azam, who's Night Watcher, and Lee Hamoud are there and can help you with Unreal stuff. All right? Awesome. Okay, cool. Perfect. So I guess these are the questions that you guys had. If you want to ask more, please go for it. Other things I have on the list as well. So you guys have one more week to figure out who your teammates are going to be if you want a team. Because if you have less than 4 weeks, it's going to be a bit hard for you guys to actually mesh together and work on whatever it is you guys want to work on. So just keep this in mind, please. Other things. Yes. Okay. So we talked about the assets. We talked about what kind of games you want to make. Again, for those of you that want to work solo, that's totally fine. If you want to work in teams, make sure that you have certain types of people on your team. Okay. You should have someone that's willing to design the game. So a game designer. And a game designer basically thinks of the different concepts that you have. They're not necessarily just the ideas guy or girl. Okay, a game designer actually looks at the game and sees what it is that makes it fun and makes sure that they can tweak the values as needed to make it as fun as possible. You need to have a developer, so basically someone that can program the game, and you need to have an artist that can actually get the art and plug it in and actually make it for you. Now, if you are the same person that's doing all of these things, totally fine. Don't worry about it. The only thing that you should know is you're going to have less time than everyone else, and so you should go for a smaller game. And a smaller game does not mean it's better or worse, okay? If you look at Buckshot Roulette, for example, Buckshot Roulette is a very small game. And it was made by a solo dev, if I'm not mistaken. But it was something that was very fun, and it was something that was very effective. So just because it's a small game and you're a team of one, doesn't mean that this is the only thing that you can make. All right? So Ali is asking if we're working on a team, should we submit and tell you who the team members are? Yes. So we've already sent you guys a form where you can fill up who the team members are. Also, when you guys are submitting the game later on itch.io, you will need to have everyone on the game on the game's page as well. Okay, this way we make sure that everyone gets their the credit due basically. Okay, Kimonade's also suggesting relying on visual scripting. So yes, you don't need to be a programmer to actually make the stuff, make the games. You can also, there are a few tools such as gdevelop and Scratch that allow you to actually just develop the thing without putting in too much effort and actually learning how to code. One other thing you can do as well is you can stretch the definition of what a game is. Okay, you can basically create something that's kind of like. So we're going to talk about Twine potentially, but even if we don't, you guys can use PowerPoint and have the buttons on PowerPoint take you to different locations inside the game that you're building. Okay. So what I mean by this is, let's say you decide to make a narrative-heavy game where you're going to move across a house to try to find out a mystery or something of the sort. So let's say the PowerPoint presentation says you walk in front of a door, you can choose if you want to go left or right, and then there's a button for left and a button for right. And if you click on that, it takes you to slide 3, for example, and if you click on the other one, it takes you to slide 10. I don't know. Okay, so you can use these buttons and this type of concept to actually make a narrative-heavy game. And this is done without coding. And yes, as Kimoneta said, board games are also acceptable, and so are card games. You can submit the rules themselves and tell us how to play the game, and you can record a video of yourself playing the game if you'd like, just to show us how it goes. If you need help making board games and card games, we actually have someone in the community that does that, so they can also give you tips and tricks. His name's Shad. So let me know if you guys need help with this as well. Okay? One big thing that we usually have as problems in the Gaming Academy, especially when it comes to teams, is team dynamics. So you guys can't seem to agree on anything, or someone gets like really frustrated with how the team is working, or there's someone that you added to your team like in a rush, and now you feel like they're doing too much or they're taking over or blah, blah, blah. So generally, it's very important that you guys set ground rules for what you expect from the team and who is responsible for what. So the way you do this is you decide on one person that's going to have the final say in a certain thing. So for example, you have one person that's in charge of having the final say in the art. Like this is the final art that we're going to use, blah, 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 that's it. And then if anyone disagrees, they have to convince the person who's in charge of art before they can change anything. Similarly, if you guys have something like this for the game design, you should have someone that has the final say for the game design section. This way, you can also know that they are responsible for the success or failure of their part of the game. Okay? Now, everyone wants their game to be successful, which is super important and really, really good. And this is why we need to make sure that everyone meshes together in a way where you all get to make the thing that you want to make. Okay? Sometimes you will need to give up a bit of your space, and sometimes you'll need to give up a bit of your ideas, but that's totally fine, as long as you are convinced that this is not the big major thing that's going to destroy the game. The most important thing that you guys need to do when building your game is making sure that whatever it is you have at hand is as coherent as possible to all of you at the same time. So what I mean by this is if I tell you guys I want to make a card game and you guys all say, "Oh yeah, yeah, let's make a card game." And then I'm like, "Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play the cards, and then when we play the cards, they're going to have actions, and the actions are what the players need to do, and whoever does the most actions wins the game." Okay? This is a very broad definition for something, and you guys have no idea what I just said, because some of you might be imagining Uno, others might be imagining Go Fish, someone else might be imagining Balatro or Hearthstone. Some of you might be imagining Speed. So, I just made up a few rules that made no sense. So what we're going to share with you guys as well is a game design document. It's a template for what you can use to make sure that whatever you guys want to build actually has all of you on the same page, sometimes quite literally, because it is like a big document that you can fill. Okay, once you fill this document, everyone should know exactly what the game is about, so that when you guys are building the same thing, sorry, when you guys are building the game, you're all building the same thing. So this is something that's super important to know as well. All right, so this is basically it, I think. There's one more point I want to talk about, which is how you're supposed to think of your game from now until the end of the program, and that would be it for me. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them as well. So we are currently in week 2, I think. Yes, week 2.5 technically. So what you guys are going to be doing from now on is you're going to be finalizing your teams. First of all, we're going to send you the game design document soon so that you guys can fill it up and actually have a general idea about what it is you want to build. And then you're going to start building your game. You can pass it by me whenever you would like. So just tag me in Discord and I will answer you guys as soon as I can. I'll take a look at your document. I'll make sure that it's good. And we will have different submissions for you guys to just throw all your stuff at us. And when you're done, we'll just check them. We'll make sure that they look good. And then we will share them out with everyone else. Sorry, we'll share our comments out with you and the team. Okay? So this is basically the first part. We will then have a feedback session. And if you guys are fine with sharing your work with us, we will take a look at them. We'll give feedback for everyone to benefit from. And honestly, this is usually a very, very helpful tool because a lot of you, one, will get feedback not just from me, but also from the other people watching. And the thing about games is the more feedback you get, the better your game gets. If you are someone that has infinite money, like Valve, you start testing as soon as possible. So what I mean by this is when Valve started working on Portal, they started testing 1 week after they made prototypes. Okay, so you are already a week late on getting your game tested by other people. This is how early in the game's loop they started, getting feedback. So that's something that's something to keep in mind. So by week 4-ish or 5-ish, we're gonna have, as I mentioned, another feedback. We're gonna talk about whatever it is you guys have built so far. It could just be a little concept. It could be a fully fledged playable demo. It could be something that is just, again, something you're talking about. All are totally fine. By the end of week 6, though, we will need to have a playable demo of whatever game it is you want, and we will give you feedback if you guys would like that. Okay. By then, you should have had a moving character if you have characters. If you don't, then we just need a working game mechanic. After the game mechanic is done, we need to see that the art actually follows whatever it is you guys are building. Sound is highly recommended, but I know sometimes people forget it, which is why I'm reminding you from now. But most importantly, your game needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay? A beginning is basically when I click on start and I actually do a thing. Doing a thing is the middle part, and then succeeding or failing in the thing is the end part. Okay? You can have a you win or you lose screen, or you can just have congratulations, you finished the level. Okay? Depending on what it is you're trying to build. I will be able to give you guys more feedback depending on what you bring to the table with your game. But if you don't have anything, then I can't really give just feedback up in the air like this. Okay? So to create the cool things, my recommendation for you guys, if you've never made a game before, is check out our platforming tutorials. They're basically tutorials on how to create a character that can walk, that can jump, and that can attack enemies. It's also one that helps you create a character with lives, something that can die, and something that can win a level. Okay? That's a very basic game concept. It's something that's a great place to start, and you can just build from there. Again, if you don't want to make a digital game, you can also make a physical game. And this is where you can start creating board games. You can set up the rules, you can set up the cards, etc., and you can build it up from there. All right. Uh, I think this is all I have to share. If you guys have any questions or would like me to expand on anything, let me know. Noor's also asking if we can send a doc with useful resources. Absolutely. If you have anything specific you would like in terms of resources, let me know. So what we'll probably include so far in the document is where you can get free assets, the kinds of places where you can learn as well for tutorials and stuff. And yeah, I think that's more or less it. So basically tutorials, assets, and who you can talk to for recommendations about certain things. Okay. Yeah, I think that's basically it from my end. Does anyone have any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything you'd like to talk about, your feelings? Cool. Okay, I'm gonna give it like 10 more seconds. If not, a thumbs up or a thank you would be good just to know that you guys are here. Great. Okay. Awesome. Great. طيب. So again, you can literally showcase. Okay, so Rabia is also asking, when can we showcase our progress by sharing our screens? You can do so starting 1 hour from now because I have a meeting right now. But after that, I'm so down to just hop in and chat with you about this. Okay? For everyone else, please literally tag me in the chat. Any questions you have at any point in time, just ask me. If you prefer to DM me, totally fine as well. Just let me know that you've DM'd me because sometimes I miss them on Discord. So that's just like as a heads up. And yeah, that's basically it from my end. So I can't wait to see what you guys are going to build. Can't wait to share everything else with you guys. And I'm really excited for the upcoming few sessions because they're going to be very fun, I think. Awesome. Yalla, take care, you guys, and we'll see you soon.